Welcome everyone to NEFX solo map demos. I'm admin 1 of NEFX, and today we are going through a demonstration of a fairly recent Keyfinder map I made, Marathon Keyfinder that is, called Quenchless War Push from Invisible Force. One of surely many more demos to come. I haven't done these in a while. I think the last time I did one was for Marathon Green when it was still relatively new, a few years ago. But I'd like to do some more, especially for the Summer Slaughterfest, basically here. Give you an idea of how a lot of these Keyfinder maps tend to go. I'd like to even put out demonstration videos for all the Keyfinder maps and pretty much every solo map I make, and for no other reason than to demonstrate that they are in fact beatable, except for, of course, the Machina ones, which are survival and thus not meant to be technically beatable. But anyway, so as you can see, these maps are made again with the solo map grid system that I've used, but a bit modified in ways that you'll see soon. But basically, every square, except for the squares in the entrance room, the starting room, have an enemy, and they also have a supply, and you're supposed to, as is revealed in the opening terminal of the default level for Marathon Keyfinder, find 7 keys, 7 key cards, that is, per level. And as you can imagine, between the not only monsters but monster bodies after you kill them and the very supplies, you have to really look closely both in your surroundings and on the map to find them, although of course naturally over the course of just playing the level and killing shit you'll often find them. So it's up to you what sort of strategies you want to employ to find the keys. Anyway, there's really mainly just the opening room, the entrance room that has doors. You just get to feel around the walls for which one it is. In this case, I have 3 different entrances to the outer world. And maybe wondering where the monsters are. Well, they're basically spawn-ins. And so, accordingly, you can see that I'm doing a bit of a trick by not immediately alerting the room before I grab some supplies, but hit fire once, which inevitably you're bound to do at some point, and the room comes to life. Now, outside of each of these rooms, I've set monster impassable zone. Of course, as you can see, this one just walked in because it was basically on or right next to the monster impassable zone. But beyond that, they're confined out there. So that way, it ensures that each of these levels is totally beatable. You always have your shield charger right here, triple. You start on the shield capsule, triple shield capsule. You have your terminal, well, you have your pattern buffer here. You just save the game. You have a terminal for each level, although, save for the default level that you start with for Keyfinder, I haven't implemented terminal messages. I think that once I reach enough levels, probably about 50, then I'll release them together as a pack with added soundtracks and, for that matter, terminal messages. But really all you need to know in terms of just the purpose of the scenario, your mission, is that it's always retrieval, it's always 7 keys per level, and as soon as you get them, you return to the starting platform right here. Of course, you can use a lot of infighting. They let them to handle themselves pretty well, but it's nice to introduce some rockets into the fray for crowd control like that. I did test these levels with an embedded physics file, making sure that all these enemies are friends with each other, but I found that it became a bit too grindy, and it's just kind of less interesting and entertaining to not have them all fighting each other, not have it be like a constant riot everywhere you go. I mean, as it is, you can see it's still pretty heavy duty and pretty challenging, but not so much that it takes you seemingly eons to get anywhere. Uh-oh. Time for the assault rifle here. As you can see, this is the main hall area. Pretty scenic, very memorable. There's definitely like sort of a Wolfenstein 3D influence here, but it's taking its own direction, not to mention that the assets and engine of Marathon are different enough. There's also a different feel introduced by my own custom textures here on the walls, ceilings, and floors. So anyway, as you can see, like I said, there are enemies for every square, one enemy per square, and they kind of go in alternation between the range of default alien enemies. There may come a point with these Keyfinder levels where I integrate basically all enemies, that is, I make all enemy classes into, all monster classes into enemies, including even humans like Bobs. But for this one, I just kept it to basically standard set that could fit, like, say, under a one world unit height polygon. Although, as you can see, I've resorted to the default of 2 world units tall, so there may come a point where I introduce the mother of all hunters, the mother of all cyborgs, etc. Anyway, although this is obviously a pretty heavy and sort of challenging scenario, I wanted to establish a few things. Number one, I wanted to make it obvious from the get-go that it was doable, that wasn't like impossible, since you always have as many resources at your disposal as you have obstacles. And for that matter, I kind of wanted to take us in a bit of an avant-garde direction in terms of making the scenario all about retrieval, and the combat, although certainly a part of it, is really quite secondary. You know, the main objective is to just get all the keys, and the catch is that you have to dig through a whole bunch of rubble to find them, including and especially rubble caused by all the fighting that you have to do. Of course, you always have to be careful because you never know what you might trigger. Like me just shooting that hunter over here triggers some enemies back there. I have not yet tried to see what it'd be like if you try to get through the level without shooting anything, because you'll notice that when you go through pretty much untriggered areas, you'll inevitably trigger a few to spawn here and there, and you could feasibly avoid them, but it'd be very hard not to shoot at all. And if you do want to do that, then the anvil basically drops on you, because there'll be a whole bunch of enemies that spawn around you and box you in and kill you before you can get back to the shield recharger, or basically your safe station in time. So overall, these levels, they're challenging, and they take a long time to crack, especially because they use basically the full breadth of space available for the engine, though not technically the maximum possible polygons per se. But you never get that sense that it's totally impossible. You know, there's always a chance that having flow, and for that matter, there's pretty much always incentive, I think, to trigger combat anyway, because you get these long, engaging brawls like this. And some of my favorite feelings to have in Marathon are like feeling like you're caught in the middle of a big riot. So in that way, the rivalry between some of these different enemy classes makes things more fun and interesting. Now, as some of you may have noticed, there have been counterparts made to this, where it's basically a Keyfinder but with different enemy and weapon sets. So I made one for the Pathways assets, using the Marathon Pathways in the Darkness mod, where it's basically this, but, you know, Pathways weapons, Pathways enemies, and my own custom textures, using a different tile set than I used here. And I also made another one that's like that, but for human enemies. Basically, if you played Marathon Shader Void, or for that matter, you're familiar with Project Conflict by Radburn, I basically made solo level where you take on basically those same types of enemies, but with less hit points, because, you know, it's a solo game and you're going up against an army of them, so it kind of makes sense to have them all be kind of like have the hit points of the Bobs. On one hand, it makes them easier to kill than these guys. On the other hand, it makes them easier to kill you because they have all your weapons, you know, to face up against. Basically like Bobs, with not just pistols and fusion guns, but assault rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, etc. So you have to deal with that. And in that case, all the enemies are friends, so there's still a chance of friendly fire and all, but there's less chance of infighting. So in some ways it's even more intense than this. But anyway, it's through levels like this that I found the right, I'm sort of hesitant to say formula because it sounds sort of cold and stiff, as though I'm not doing this with any thought or feeling. I definitely care about the way these levels are designed and everything, but there's sort of a formula to it in that I not only use the template, but to create these levels, I basically, since pretty much everything was established as far as the texturing, the shading, the ambient sounds, the weapons, the supplies, and monsters, to create a Keyfinder level, I would open up a template where that was all prepared, and then I would just focus on which polygons to delete so as to make the level structure, and also make it so that it doesn't overload. You know, the game doesn't like slow down or anything like that because of a lack of negative space. So as you can see, these levels are performing very well. They're functioning the way they should. They're very engaging, and they get the point across as far as what Keyfinder levels are meant to do. So it's pretty great. One problem I often face here is that I go through primary assault rifle ammunition so fast. Not so much the grenades, but the bullets. I often find that I get low on bullets pretty quickly, but you do reach a threshold here where you start gaining more than you lose in terms of supplies, and so eventually you don't have to worry so much about losing ammunition for certain things anymore. Oops, where did that come from? Where is it? There it is. Oops. Gotta get out of here real quick. Somehow I alerted some more enemies in other areas that I didn't expect. Now you'll see that I have a liquid on these floors. You might wonder why. The reason is that I wanted to have these ready in case I wanted to put negative floor height for liquid purposes, and then the liquids will already be there. A side effect, of course, is that not only do you get this ripple effect in the floor texture, which is actually kind of interesting, and I don't mind, but there are some side effects like when the cyborgs would fire grenades at you, sometimes they wouldn't bounce, they just splash into the water. So to rectify that with subsequent levels I made using this template, I lowered the liquid level beneath 0 world unit height to negative 0.200. So that way, if I did decide to put kind of subterranean liquid there, you could still rise out of it, but it wouldn't impede the cyborg grenades. As it happened, though, I think it didn't detract from the levels too much, so I just kind of left it in there for the levels where this happened. Whereas there are some aspects of some of these levels that I've decided to go back and fix them to basically make them a bit more like this. It's also cool this way because you can take breaks between forks in the level. Like I took a break from that main hall area to take care of this, and of course a lot of these sections blend in together. They seg into each other somehow. But it's pretty open-ended. You just have to find the 7 key cards. So you're finding the 7. The keys to the 7 gates of hell or something. Which is to say, by hell, just the next Keyfinder map. For that matter, the way these levels are designed makes for a very good practice. Because it's very much a test of patience. Again, you could totally get through this level. It just takes a while and takes some patience and restraint. Where you don't rush into situations too quickly before you're well equipped and able to handle them. But if you happen to fuck up, see, here's 1 key card. So that's 1 out of 7. But anyway, yeah, if you happen to fuck up, it's not like you've totally lost your progress unless you totally neglected to save. But as you'll soon see, that system I had at the beginning of the level, the charger terminal and save point, I have that basically the same middle point on all 4 sides of the map. So it's never too far away. Also like the way I design these maps in terms of supplies, because I feel like from the get-go it doesn't give you too much supplies at once relative to the combat. It doesn't give you too little, and it rewards aggression and courage, basically. Or the more you put yourself out there, the more supplies you get, even though it means you never really have to confront more of the waves of enemies. Whoa. Here we go. Flamethrower time. I also like, as you can see, incorporating a lot of these 0.4 world unit tall platforms that basically act as like the way the barrels would in Wolfenstein 3D, where you can see through and shoot through, but you can't pass them. Of course, in this case, you could by grenade hopping over, and that could be a good tactic as far as getting some supplies that you haven't picked up yet that could come in handy. Could use up these rockets while I still can, while they're far enough back there and distracted. So overall, I think that these levels are very well balanced, because they're challenging and take a long time to get through, but they're always engaging and they're always possible. And you get a better sense over time of how to look for the chips. That was funny. Alright, it's time to go back, recharge and save, although actually I opened up a new station up there now that I've killed enough, cleared enough of the way, so I'm going to take advantage of it and show you. Here we go. So far they seem a bit distracted right now, for the most part. Usually they aren't that distracted. In short, I'm the Marathon Slaughter Map Master. More distractions. Just checking something. Okay. Alright, I'm going to take a break from this fork, go back to the main hall, which again is connected to some of these other parts I've been exploring. Actually, I think I already got what I need to here. Yeah, I got that one. No other key cards collected yet. But yeah, part of the idea is to keep an eye out on the map for areas you haven't explored yet. Sometimes check parts of rooms as you explore them, although you can't always do that, because sometimes there's too much going on. But oftentimes it's spots that are tucked away, or like at the very corner of the map, or places where you'd have to go up against heavy resistance. Like sometimes I'll have a room where it's like you have to go straight down up to a section at the end with barrels, as I call them, in front, where the enemies kind of stay behind and shoot at you, and you can't lure them out, so that you can get the key. This map is a good demonstration of one of the things that I love about marathon experiences, and that I try to keep very prominent in this scenario, is instances where you keep having to revisit like a big area to take care of new battles. So it's almost like the area evolves, and there are phases to it in relation to other areas, other rooms. You know, of course, there are a lot of pillars here to hide behind. Also, look around the corners of. I can fire some rockets long distance here. Yep, there we go again. Love that riot feeling. Not only is it one of my favorite things to feel in a marathon game, but often my favorite marathon-related memories have involved that. I always remember one particular instance in the middle of, I think it was maybe the hardcore level pack, or maybe it was the Spinal Tap one. Yeah, I think it was the Spinal Tap level pack for Marathon Huge. There was this moment where my allied monsters for that level, which were I think the Yeti, were helping me take down this mass of kind of infighting monsters, and this was basically happening in front of me, and I was also participating in it while the song "Let's Lynch the Landlord" by the Dead Kennedys came on, or it was peaking at right about that moment, like from the solo bridge to the final verse, and had a kind of a weird high at that moment because everything was perfect. Oops. Got caught on the corner there. Alright. Go back, recharge, save, and let's see a bit more of what's on the right side of the level. Almost said lap. I meant to say level or map, so I mixed them up. So the instance of turrets I installed, basically. We'll put like a fire in the whole thing. I guess these weren't as effective as I hoped they'd be, but that's okay. There's plenty more aliens and monsters where that came from. Alright, time for a fire in the whole moment. Here we go. Keep an eye out for those turrets. Always. Time to fire another rocket way back there. I don't know if I hit them actually. Somehow it seemed to slip through. Okay, there, I definitely hit them. Got plenty of rockets. Alright. Oh, here comes some more. See what I mean? The madness never stops. You don't want it to. Where's that compiler coming from? Alright, got more supplies here to deal with the massive enemies back here. Getting close to the other safe station, as I call it, like you saw at the beginning of the level. The only unfortunate thing is that, of course, as the bodies mount up in this level, some of them disappear in earlier parts, so you don't get to have as much of a comprehensive survey of your own carnage as you might like, as I would like, that's for sure. Rocket sniping time. Alright. I'm going to be safe here and go back to recharge and save. Fire in the hole again. Those turrets work better. Maybe in part because I showed up to them more long distance, so they, for whatever reason, felt more compelled to fire, as opposed to first round of those sorts of sentry turret setups I had that didn't seem to work properly. Here we go. Here's the other station, although actually now that I remember it, I think this is the one where you can't access it without grenade hopping over a barrier that I didn't realize I'd put all around it. That's alright. It's kind of funny. Actually, there are some ways that you can grenade hop up there without actually damaging yourself, but at least with the liquid floor or whatever, but I've found that hard to consistently do. Trigger some more spawn-ins here. Alright, I'm going to quickly demonstrate for you soon. I think it's safe enough for me to try. Yeah, so grenade hop over here. Charge, save. Running out of rockets now. Here comes some more. Alright. Hang on a second. Pause. I want this pause. Okay. Alright. Let's continue. I wonder what triggered over there that wave came over from that direction. Yeah, Carnage never stops. Okay, there we go. There's a demonstration of the damageless grenade hop. I wonder if that only works because of the liquid water or something. I couldn't replicate it getting out. That's alright though, still gained more than I lost. Gained more going in than I did getting out. Than I lost getting out. Also like how this scenario really has you using all the weapons at different times. Maybe not necessarily the pistols, but I suppose you really could if you wanted to do like some precision sniping from afar, which could totally happen in this game. Certainly if you want to, challenge yourself, you have plenty of pistol clips to use for that purpose. In fact, I'll give a demonstration of that right now. Hell, maybe I'll eventually make Keyfinder levels sort of like Huge in the sense that there's like a shuffle of one enemy you deal with and or one weapon you deal with. Imagine having to deal with red defenders for an entire Keyfinder level and you only got pistols. That'd be possible, but it'd be pretty hard. It'd take a long time. But I'd consider it. Hit by a fire yeti here. Alright. Time to launch myself in here. Looks like the general technique is to aim for the corner of the square. See if I can do that getting out. No, it doesn't seem to work the other way for some reason. Maybe I just have been unlucky and or somehow inconsistent in my technique. Okay, yeah. I'm on the other side of the main hall. Took me a bit to notice. I do like having it 2 world units tall, in part because that way gives the airborne enemies a chance to kind of go up and down, as is their nature. Alright, now we're getting pretty close to the safe station at the top part of the map. The northern part. Yep, close to the northern part. Just gotta blast our way through here. Might as well use the rockets here. Alright, time to go back and recharge. Actually, I haven't been inside this big square room yet. So far, just 2 keys here. Okay, there we go. It's just like I've aimed the crosshair just a bit above the corner of the square unit in front of me for that to work. There we go. That was fun. Nothing back here, so I have a bit of a safe spot, not a safe station. Alright. Is that gonna come back around and hit me? Yeah. Damn, it didn't work that time. So inconsistent. Oh, rocket time. Running out of rockets now. There we go. Okay, looks like I triggered the enemies inside of that room. Oh shit, where'd you come from? It could have been a little bit risky if suddenly a wave came in on me and overwhelmed me before I could recharge. Okay, that time it worked. Let's try to check something. Okay. Flew way back. Where'd that trooper go? Oh, weird. Must have been berserk or something. Oh, here we go. Gonna do a fire in the hole with the 2 rockets I have. I think that didn't quite work as well as I hoped. Well, I did get nicely launched up here so I could collect some goodies. Oh, not to get my way out of here. Let's see if I can try that again. I do have some rockets now. Try some fire in the hole, but yeah, earlier it was a bit thwarted because the weak enemies got in the way of like the groups of the stronger enemies. So I tried to hit like a group of big ones. Instead, I just hit a single purple fighter. Actually, before I go in there, see how soon I can find the northern safe station. There's a key, so 3 out of 7, 4 more to go. I don't think there's any. There might be another one in this top corner. That's a common place for me to keep them, but nope, looks like everything's taken care of here. Here we go. Alright, here's the north save station. Some of these safe stations aren't necessarily so safe depending on what's happening. Especially the one where you have to grenade hop your way in. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, rocket time. Hello, who are you? Anyway, if I can clear this area. I'm safe enough, I think save. And just get out of here. Go back to that big square room because I'm pretty sure I put a key card in there. It's mostly taken care of now. Kind of let it run its natural course, but makes sense I would put plenty of these turret areas in here. Here it is, yep. The fourth one. 3 more to go. I want to pick up any remaining rockets in here. I'm pretty safe as far as just about all other ammunition goes at this point. Most of this level is explored. Who's left in here? Lone drone. Oh, there's some spawns back there. Damn, I can't hit anything. Okay, I think there might be one tucked back here. Always check the 4 corners, that's what I say. Because I know, at least for myself, I've put them back there many times. I mean, the logic behind the placement of these chips has a lot to do with trying to incentivize the player to explore as much as possible. So sometimes, you know, the path to it is pretty linear, other times it isn't. I try to balance them out between all the different key cards you use or you pick up. Is there a card here? I don't think so. Alright, we use the pistols here. That makes it pretty handy. Okay, there's the 5th key card. So I took care of that. I don't need to explore more there, I don't think. So just 2 more to go. I think I see the spots on the map where I want to check to get them. Hunter seemed pretty hardy for some reason. Okay, well, I made it back to another safe station. I'm going to check that black spot on the map, see what it is. Constantly test shooting to trigger any enemies. There we go, 6. And I think I know where the last one is. It's just another spot on the left side of the main hall. A couple stragglers out here. Yes, here we go. That's it. That's all 7 card keys. I'm going to go back. And by the way, as you may have noticed, every safe station has the same automatic exit platform, depending on which you're closest to. Save, and then that's it. That's the end of the level. And there are many more that I intend to demonstrate that are similar to that and in some ways different. But I'll show that to you another time. Until then, thanks very much for watching. This has been NEFX Solo Map Demos. Bye.